Tuia ki te rangi, tuia ki te whenua, tuia ki te re tangata, tau mai te mauri o te manawa ora, hei arahi a tātou, hui te marama, hui te ora, haumi e, hui e, kai ki e. Let's begin with karakia. Me karakia tātou. Tuia ki te rangi, tuia ki te whenua, tuia ki te ere tangata, tau mai te mauri o te manawa ora, hei arahi i a tātou, wānanga te ora, wānanga te marama, haumi e, hui e, tai ki e. Wow, thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome.
All the way from Te Kaha. So that's pretty choice. Let's begin with ko wai koe, no he koe. Who are you and where are you from?
My name is Aroha Grant, no te whānau Apanui. I am with Standfast Stables and yeah, it's me.
That's you. Ka pai, that's awesome. So tell me, it's actually really cool when you get to interview your friends because I think you learn about each other in a totally different way to when you're just normally having a kōrero. But I'd love to hear about your journey with hōiho. Can you tell us a bit about the whakapapa of that journey?
So I've been riding since I was a kid. So my dad was a horseman and we would go and stay with him every school holidays and that would be our life, just riding and riding and riding. We'd saddle up our horses in the morning, ride out all day, come back at night time.
Dream
yeah. And yeah, but that's, you know, that's the beginning and pretty much end of my knowledge and experience with horses. We went to a few horse sports. I don't know, I never competed. I just watched and just thought my younger siblings were absolutely amazing. But it wasn't until 2018, don't ask me how old I was.
2018?
Yeah, 2018. My cousins and my siblings, we normally do this, but this specific time we all got our horses together to have a fun ride. And while we were out, when we come back, I was like, man, I'm sure we could sell this feeling. You know, you could sell every time I went out for a ride, I'd be thinking, oh man, I love this. This just reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of family, you know, just all the good feelings. And yeah, I was just like, man, I'm sure we could sell this feeling. And yeah, so that's when we thought, okay, well, why don't we get all our horses together and we'll start horse trekking. It took off. We put a couple of flyers up at the shops, and we were absolutely booked out all summer. And so that was the birthing of, we started out as East Coast horse treks, and yeah, it just kept building. Like the momentum didn't stop. So we built from there. My siblings, they showed interest in the whole horse thing as well. And so we had a whānau meeting and we decided to change the name to Standfast. So we thought Standfast can be our umbrella and each of us can, do the skills that we're good at. So my brother, horsemanship, I was doing the horse treks and kids programs and I think that was all at that point. And then my sister, she wanted to do breeding, so she went into Standfast quarter horses, and then later Standfast photography. And so it's just kept growing, and every year I've built onto what I'm servicing, the services that I provide. So now I'm doing equine therapy. What else? Healing wānanga. Just books, plushies, merchandise, like the whole shebang.
You've got an empire going.
I do. I just keep getting more and more ideas, and I'm like, I've got to do this. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and then also, you know, wanting to continue upskilling myself in my horsemanship and getting those skills really fine-tuned. It's such a big journey.
It is a big journey, but it sounds like your whānau has quite a whakapapa with Mahi Hōiho.
Yeah.
And so where does the name Standfast come from?
So Standfast comes from our Grant heritage. So our last name is Grant. And so that's Scottish background. My dad was always really, really strong in his Scottish heritage. So his dad, Pākehā, and so he would always bring up, you know, we stand fast. And so hearing that continuously, we were like, we need to make sure that we include our father, because he's our hero. Yeah, he's our hero. Yeah. And we wanted something, because he's passed, obviously. So we want something that we can continue to live. Well, how do you say it? We want him to live on through us. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's so beautiful and neat that each of you and your siblings have been able to take a branch that you're passionate about and run with that. That's neat. And so before we started rolling on the podcast, we were talking a little bit about the difference between, you know, when you're young and you're riding, and I'm sure we can all relate to this, of that difference between riding and just hanging on and staying on, loving it though, and then that journey into really like understanding the training side of it, and maybe how the horse thinks and learns and how their body works and all of that side of things. Can you share your journey with that?
Yeah, I really didn't realise how little I knew. I always thought I was cool because I could stay on a horse. You know, they could do whatever, they could take off, they could gallop, they could buck, whatever. But I prided myself in being able to stay on a horse. But I didn't understand what it meant to steer a horse, you know, or make it, or get it to go the direction that I want it to go, or get it to just ask it to do something and it do it. I had no idea. I was just like, okay, go. Are you going? Why aren't you going? And that was pretty much, before I really went into my journey. And then, didn't know. I just knew how to hold on to the horse, and that was it. Yeah. And then once I started, getting into learning more, I realized, oh my gosh, I have absolutely no clue. I don't, you know, when a horse gets upset or, you know, like starts flaring up or whatever, I didn't understand what that was about. I didn't even understand how to read their body language. Didn't understand what, you know, how much you could see in their eyes, or just even their energy. And I didn't even understand how to, that I had control of my own energy. I didn't understand I had control of my own energy or even my body. I didn't realize the impact that just facing them had. Or if I just faced off to the side a little bit, how much that would impact the horse. So learning. So my quest has always been, even to this day, is ensuring that I have full communication, mind, body, energy, intention. So constantly trying to bring those together so that I can communicate clearly to the horse. That's been my life's journey now. It's
a pretty cool journey, isn't it?
It is.
And it just keeps getting deeper. The thing that I've been thinking about more in recent years is, especially because of Te Ao Māori, is te taha wairua, the spiritual side. And I think that brings in a new element to, you know, when we're first in that horsemanship journey of the mind, the body, energy, our body language, all of that sort of stuff. And then I'm like, te taha wairua, how can we take it to a whole new level of communication through that.
Yeah, I think it's more how far a person's awareness is how, like, just their own personal awareness, whether that's spiritually or just even an awareness of themselves. Because I think that's the biggest starting point, is having a big awareness of yourself.
Yeah.
And then that can transfer to an awareness with the horses and the impact, or even not, I guess not so much the impact, but the relationship that now opens up with the horse. And if you don't have that awareness, then it makes it hard to create that relationship with the horse.
Yeah, because I guess they can be trying to tell you something, and if you don't have the awareness to see it or to hear it or to feel it, then you can see where things start to spiral, and then all of a sudden you begin having issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, because when it comes to te ao Māori, and this is just what I've learnt over the years, is we are a people that are observers. Pre-colonization. I think, so what I've learned is, back in the day, they used to take kids to different environments, say whether it was the moana, whether it was just on the whenua, whether it was out in the ngahere. They would take children to those environments and see where their spirit come alive. And that would begin the process of their education in that environment. And so then they would send that child, say they sent them to the ngahere, to the moana. They'll say, look out at that rock. Watch that rock, come back with the lesson that you got. Or, go watch that albatross and then come back with the lesson that you learnt. So it all became about teaching our children how to observe, how to become observers. And then with that observation, then you get wisdom. With the wisdom, then you can then bring intention to whatever you're doing. And so what I found is that we do that, when we bring that same lens to horses, we start observing them. What is their body doing? What are their ears doing? What are their eyes doing? What is the environment around them doing? So we become experts in observation, and then that opens the door to what I said before is beginning that awareness, beginning that relationship. In relationship with it all, not just the horse, but all of the things around it. No, absolutely. And that's, so I think, how did I put it? The horses, they show us so the horses show us something. And te ao Māori shows us why that relationship is important. And then if we go a step further, we have psychology, which explains why. Which science and those sorts of things are just catching up with what our people knew so long ago. And reinforces it, which is a really cool feeling to be like, like there, especially if you do have that mind of like wanting to understand the how and the why. It's nice to be like, haha. Exactly. I think it's our work, because I always, when you ask me that question, how do we reindigenize horsemanship? Well, I don't think you don't really reindigenize it. It's more they are one, like it's so te ao Māori is our worldview, and the horses are in that relationship with us in that lens. That makes sense. It does make sense, because they already are, and we just have to remember how to be in relationship with that. That's really neat.
What did you find changed for you in your relationship with horses once you started on this journey, going from, where it was just riding and awesome, that not taking away from any of that at all, but to the knowledge that you have now and how you show up?
I think I sort of switched between both worlds. And obviously, that, and I think this is what's important about the reindigenising, is it's more reindigenising our minds.
Yes.
So, not so much the actual horsemanship, but reindigenising our minds so that we come out of that control, and then come into questions, why? There was someone that said something, curiosity, what is it? Curiosity creates, opens the door for learning. Because we've lost that with colonisation. We send our kids to school and we tell them what they should know.
Yeah.
But we're not nurturing the curiosity in a child to go and find out, why is this like this?
Yeah.
Why is this like this?
Pull things apart.
Yeah. We're just like, well, that's a TV and that's just what it is. Instead of, well, why is it a TV? Well, what else could, well, go and pull it apart and have a look. What piece is in it, or what else could it be?
Yeah,
there's no nurturing the curiosity. And so if we're creating curiosity in our horsemanship around, why is the horse behaving like this, and then looking around at our environment. Well, the stars.
Yes.
These stars are showing tonight, or the moon it's rako nui tonight. Always insane on the full moon, and just wondering, it isn't because they're being bad. We're always saying, bloody horse is bad. But we forget to look at why. The moon is up. The trees, the birds are, what are the birds doing? What is the wind doing? What's the sea doing at the moment that may be influencing what the horses are doing, or even what even ourselves, because we're hugely influenced.
How we are showing up in that conversation.
Yeah, and that's it too, It's a continual conversation between us, the horse, and our environment.
Yeah, and being able to adapt to that and be fluid in it to fit the context of that particular moment, that day, and seasons as well. I think beyond just looking at the grass, I think we're pretty well accustomed here in Aotearoa, to the seasons of grassy and our horses being affected by that, but beginning to explore and, as you're saying, be curious about more than that, what's beyond it. So I'm
trying to, because I switch into that. I need the horse to do, and I think this is it gets a little bit tricky too, because I'm running a business. I've got a horse track at 10 o'clock. The horses need to be this way at this point. And so I have started giving myself more time, so that I'm not rushing the horses, and so that I'm staying in a state of mind that allows time for the horses, or to even time for myself to really see what's going on with them, and then adjusting, or and sometimes it might mean sorry, this horse is just not able to be ridden, and being okay with that, because I've still got bills to pay.
Which is tricky, isn't it?
It is, it can be.
And so what can you do on those sort of days? Do you adapt and offer something else that is fitting into the context of what the horse is capable of on that day, or?
Yeah, well, I think, always the well-being of the horses. If they just are not fit to ride, then they're not fit to ride. But the other side of it too is, adjusting the trek to fit how the horse is feeling.
Yeah.
And so and you can see if the horse is happy or, they just really feel good about themselves. And I think that's really important too. So when I'm preparing for treks, I want the horse to feel good about itself. And then it will, that rolls on into the trek. So when I'm grooming them or when I'm even pre-riding them, I'm trying to build their confidence and I'm trying to get them to feel good.
Yeah. I love that idea, and that's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, of this idea of, when we're riding or working with our horses, do we whakamana or do we whakaiti? And coming around to some of the reo, and I've heard that horses being talked about in the o category, so being our tuakana, and so, because they are our tuakana, then even more so we should be having whakamana, not whakaiti, and then looking at the way I am showing up and working with them, what am I doing? What place does that fall into? So I like hearing you talk about, when helping them to feel good. Yeah. And that makes me think, that you're lifting their mana.
Yeah, and I think that's, even if we go back to even having conversations, when we have conversations with each other, we're not trying to tear each other down, or we are trying to whakamana each other. And that's what every relationship should be, the quality of the relationship. And that goes back to te ao Māori, is what is the quality of our relationship? How do we build that relationship? And you look at what is it? Taha wairua, taha whānau. It's all about building.
Yes.
It's all about building those 4 things in us and bringing that back again to our hōiho. We just need to build them up.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not about, you need to do this, as and some people will question that because sometimes they need the horse to do the job, but they're going to do it anyway if they feel good about it.
Yes, that's right. So, I totally believe in that. Yeah. If you've got a horse or human, and all of their po, those taha, is it wairua, tinana, hinengaro, whānau, and then even whenua, I think, is the 5th one that gets talked about as well. If all of those strong, then you're going to have somebody that functions well, and so that does just happen. Yeah. It's not about having to train it into them.
Or make it, because it just will. It just will. That's the result of wellness.
Yes. Yeah. And I think before when we were like, okay, we need to press record, we're having the podcast before the podcast. You were talking about how in your context of having these hōiho from when they're young and being able to bring them up around you. And so can you talk a little bit about that and how that starting process looks?
Yeah, because I do have the luxury of, foaling the horses and then having them as young foals. I get to build that relationship with them even long before breaking in. So we already have trust. Yeah. And so then we don't have the need. They already know that they're safe with me. They already know I'm not a threat. So whatever I do with them, they're already confident that, hey, she's not trying to help me. Unless obviously it's they're young. They're young, and they might do something without even realizing they're not trying to hurt you. Yes. It's just, oh my gosh, I wasn't ready for that, or whatever it is. Yeah. But the starting process with my horses comes back to the relationship. Always starts with the relationship, getting that building that trust. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's neat. So that, it's just, and that sort of makes me think about taha whānau as having that pillar really strong for them, because I guess as a as a tangata hōiho, you do become a part of their whānau and vice versa.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because I'm mindful too when I take the foals from their mothers. Some are ready, some just aren't.
Yeah.
And so that'll determine, how old they are when I do take them off their mum.
Yeah.
Some are just like, they really couldn't care less about their mums, and they're not even at 6 months. But they've already detached. They've done it themselves. And then there's others that you just cannot get away from their mothers. And so they obviously need a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But it makes a huge difference in how they then respond to you and interact with you, because if they don't have that secure bond or secure relationship with their mother, how are they going to have that with another person?
Yes, I'm so glad that we're having this conversation, because I think about this a lot.
Yeah.
And the idea around separation anxiety. I so think that it stems from foals being weaned too early when they're not ready for that.
Yeah.
Do you see that as a result, that you have really confident horses that don't experience separation anxiety?
Yeah, and I've noticed when I have taken a foal off its mother too early, and so sometimes I kick myself. I'm like, I wish I'd have just left you a little bit longer. But yeah, I do. Like, my foals are so confident in themselves, really super independent. I do wish I had the space to let them stay with their mothers way longer.
Yes.
But obviously, land restrictions and mahi takes precedence. But for the most part, I try my hardest to, get the timing as close as possible, that encourages and nurtures a healthy detachment.
That's so neat. I love that. Just gonna bask in this moment. Amazing. And so I know that you, speaking of foals and young ones, I know you do a bit of mahi with rangatahi as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I have done quite a bit. And it's just more creating opportunities for kids that wouldn't otherwise, get on a horse, or, and again, just getting them out of the house, getting them out of the house, off the screens. But even, I think it's not so much, because we can focus on rangatahi and what they're, you're trying to keep them out of trouble, or, all that negative, well, it's not negative, but I don't know what you call it, but you can focus on that side. Or what is the qualities that I, as a person, want to instill in a child. And a lot of that is giving children a choice. So a choice between a path that they can walk confidently in, or a path that they can carry on and not be confident in. It's on a basic level. But I think because I was talking to my cousin just on the way here, and because I'd helped her with her training in rugby, and I was like, well, now what if you want to be an elite athlete, you now know, and you have the skills to be that. You have the choice now to perform at an elite level, or you continue and, just be happy playing social, but you have the choice now. And so that's the same with the horses, is I want to give them the choice of, you can apply the things that I teach you with these horses into any area of your life. Now you have a choice. You can do everything at the best that you can possibly do it at, because I've given you those tools. Yeah. So it sort of extends more than just to the horses. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's life skills.
Yeah.
And are those also wrapped into te ao Māori as well?
Not so much. Well, you know, we live. I think that's probably why it's so hard for me to answer, because we live te ao Māori.
Yeah.
Being on the coast, we live it. We're at the marae.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So we're on our whenua. We are with our awa. We're hunting, or we're trapping, or we're looking after our ngahere.
Yeah.
We are at the marae, you know, sleeping at the marae with the kids, or we're sleeping up the bush. So I guess, you know, without even realizing it,
Yeah.
it just is. It just is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I come live with you?
Sure.
I'll pack my bags. You've got your horse float on, so we can put at
We're
least
ready.
one horse in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. And what do you notice in the rangatahi from when they first start working with you, or you with them and the hōiho, to when they've been on a bit of a journey?
The confidence, you know, some of them shy as anything, won't talk, won't step in front of won't go near the horse, but by the end of the program, they're pretty much leading it. They come right out of their shells, and yeah, they just, next minute they're going home, Mum, I want a horse. But yeah, just the level of confidence that grows, once they leave.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I really love how you talk about shifting that focus away from the problems that people talk about, and more onto the positive things. And just like with the horses, the whakamana.
Yeah, because I think that's it sets your intention, My intention isn't to try and occupy the kids, or to, you know, give them something to do. I want to instill quality things into a child. Yeah. And so because my intention is clear, then I can follow that through. It's easy to stay focused on that. And you have a clear purpose, which ends up having a bigger impact.
That's so neat, so powerful. And what about the equine therapy? How does that work?
So I actually fell upon that because I was doing some market research and looking at what's the next fashion, or what's the next trend with horses. And I fell upon it. It was really becoming quite big over in the States, And there's retreats and all kinds of things happening over there, but we didn't have much here. So I was like, I need to find, where do I get trained to do this? And so I went to Sue Court at Earth Horse, Aotearoa. Excuse me. And she trained me. So I went out to her place, stayed out there, got trained up, and it really aligned. What I loved about it really aligned with how I think, and because I'm right into psychology and neuroscience and all of that nerdy stuff. So it really aligned with that. And then with horses, I was like, oh man, this couldn't be more perfectly aligned. And so then, I just started practicing it on myself first, practiced it on myself, and then I do smaller clinics. And now I just, I love it, I feel like I'm drawn more towards the equine therapy side of mahi than the horse trekking and all of that, as much as I still love it as well. But I feel like that's more my passion. Just because I've always been drawn to helping people. I have coached for over 28 years now. I've been coaching.
Not just in horses.
And all kinds of sports as well. So with that, so my passion is to help people, and I'm able to do it with my own personal passion with horses. Couldn't ask for more.
That's pretty perfect, isn't it? That's beautiful. So I know you've done a little bit of work with horses and the equine therapy and the addiction space as well. Yeah, can you share a little around that?
Yeah, so my mum, she came to me first. She was working for and asked if I would do a wānanga for them. And so they had explained, communication was a big thing, communication between their workers, but also with the kids.
Yeah.
And so I ran a wānanga specifically around communication and connection and how they were intertwined. And so we ran through the process of what the process of communication is, and used the horses as the tool to teach them that, and taught them herd dynamics and everything. And it was like it was absolutely life-changing for them. Not one person had a dry eye. They were all crying, and they really weren't aware of just themselves and how they were approaching the kids or how they were being with the kids. But then also within their staff, how the leadership was showing up, and then even how the staff was showing up, and how important it was for them to work together for the survival of their herd.
Yes. The herd.
And so once they got to see it, they're all apologizing to each other, and it was so beautiful. But it gave me the confidence then to move into that addiction space. And then having family that have been in that space too, I was naturally drawn to it. And so I put out my first wānanga around addictions, and that was with the Auckland outfit. And when they came to do the program, the people that had addictions, they were like, I don't want to leave here, because they were so happy with the space that they were in the wānanga, and the healing that they had started on, the healing journey they had started on, that leaving, they were too scared that they would fall back into their habits, and they really didn't want to. And so, as sad as it was to see them leave and not, I didn't know what their journey was going to be after that. It then, fueled that passion to continue looking into those spaces. And so, now I'm working with Opotiki. And now I'm branching out into wāhine, wānanga, and just uplifting our wāhine, because we carry so much. And just providing a space for us to release, just to let those, let that heaviness go.
And horses are such beautiful holders of space for that. It's been amazing. I know a few times when I have put out into even just our local Facebook groups about just creating a space and a time for wāhine to come, there will be literally hundreds of replies that I get to that post of people wanting to come and be able to be in that space. So it really feels like there's such a not even a desire, like beyond that, like a real just need for, I think maybe people wanting to have that feeling of coming home to themselves.
Well, because I think it's just because they've had healing wānanga for men. There's been quite a lot of that, and there's been there's been wānanga here and there for wāhine, but it isn't as big as the tāne, because we're all about, our men have had this big need to heal themselves, to come out of that colonisation and the impacts of that on our tāne, that we've sort of forgotten our wāhine still sitting there in the background and are still trapped, I guess, in, what do you call it? Well, because our tāne have been so unwell, they've been the victims of that unwellness. And so, what about their healing? And so we have sort of forgotten about them amongst the healing our tāne. As amazing that is, not taken away from that. but remembering that our wāhine is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wāhine too. So creating those spaces for them. What do you think it is about the hōiho that create that space for them?
Yeah,
For us.
it's so different, because, well, obviously there's the science of it. There's the science of a horse can regulate another being that's in their presence. The vibration that they put out is able to regulate our nervous system. Yeah. So if they can do that, well, even within their herds, they're regulating each other, constantly regulating each other. And so if they can do that for each other, the impact that it has on us as humans. And there's so much more. There's so much more science around the impacts that a horse has, even how we impact them.
Yeah.
And so I was just reading something, I think it was just the other day, about how we can change their neurology, like the neuropaths in their mind, just by through our nervous system. So when our nervous system is dysregulated, it can actually have an impact on the horse as well.
Yep, and I believe that.
Yeah. So while they are healing us, we're actually still impacting them. Yeah. Which I've only just learnt, so I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and ensure that my horses have a place of grounding and coming back to themselves as well. Yes. But I went off topic there.
No, it's a great conversation, I think, because, just as much as they are incredible healers, we have to also think about, like you say, finding places and spaces for them to be able to ground and come back in, so that they're not then carrying all of those sorts of things. And it even reminds me, like, this was a long time ago when I was in my teens, and I volunteered at the Riding for Disabled, and our job was to work with the horses outside of their sessions with their clients, I guess to bring variety into their lives. And I can see how that would also help them to ground in and give them other things in their lives. I don't know whether it was from the way that we're talking about it in the sense of ensuring that they can let go of any mamae that they've taken on through that. But yeah, that just made me think about that.
Yeah, I think it so as the relationship builds, and they come in constant contact with more so one specific person, that's what changes their their makeup, I guess. Yeah. But in terms of healing, like they don't have any judgment, They really don't have a I like you or I don't like you. Yeah. They don't think, oh, you're wearing an ugly dress today, or oh my gosh, your nose is a little bit crooked. But they have zero judgment about you. They just take you as you are. Yeah. In our ugliness or in our beautifulness, whichever one it is. They just take us as we are, and they provide space, They are just quite happy to be with us. Yes. Where we can't always get that with human-to-human interactions, Like people are constantly judging or creating narratives in our minds about a person just by even how they breathe or look, like just 100 judgments are flying constantly, whereas a horse they just don't have that. They're quite happy. If you're okay there, I'm just going to keep eating my grass. Well, you're happy? Cool, I'm happy.
Yes, as long as you're not bringing vulnerability in a sense that the herd could get hurt, then they're good.
Yeah. And then even when you do bring, you know, say you do bring some mamae or whatever you're feeling in that moment, they just have this amazing way of understanding what that need is in that moment and filling that need. They're able to fill that void. I was I can't remember if I told you that story about the guy that attacked me. Did I? Anyway,
Tell me more.
so I was attacked a few years ago now, and obviously I was feeling vulnerable and just unsafe and all of this, and I was like, I need to be with my horses. And so I went out to the paddock and I just sat with them, and I really found it hard to connect. I found it hard to allow myself to be vulnerable enough to connect in with the horses, but I kept sitting there and I kept sitting there. And obviously, because my intention was there, the horses felt that. And one of the horses in particular, his name's Stone, big horse. And he came up to me and he stood in front of me first, and then he just started circling me. And meanwhile, the other horses were coming up, and he didn't let one other horse around me, wouldn't let another horse come up to me. And even the dogs, if the dogs tried to come up to me, he kept everything away from me.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. And then in that moment I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so safe. You know, that was, and because it was obviously bringing up other past trauma, you know, with losing my dad, and this, you know, what a dad represents, your safety and strength and all of those. So, you know, that particular incident of being attacked then stirred up all of that stuff that I really didn't realize I still needed healing in. But that horse, Stone, knew exactly what I needed in that moment and was able to provide that for me. And so then I was able to get my healing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so neat.
I know. I was blown away from it.
Yeah, those moments that happen that you're just like, I don't know what just happened. But that was incredible.
And so being able to experience that myself, you know, and knowing the power of it, I then know the power that it can have for other people. And I always tell people, I'm like, your healing will only ever go as deep as you allow yourself to be vulnerable. So if you stay closed off, you'll get the healing that is where you're at there. And if you allow yourself to be vulnerable and open yourself up, you'll get exactly what you need.
And it's important to ensure that when you're going into those really deep healing spaces, to make sure that the space is safe as a safe container to be able to hold you, which it sounds like he really was for you in that moment.
Yeah, man, it's absolutely amazing. And I've had a few other experiences, but I think that was probably one of the most powerful. And what's strange is I guess you know, I was just saying it's how vulnerable you allow yourself to be. But my walls were I actually had a lot of walls up because I felt so unsafe. But I think with the intention, because the intention was there.
It's almost like he met you there, where you were at with your walls up, and provided a safe space so that you could let your walls down a bit there. And so I really love providing that for other people. Because when you feel it, it's sort of like, man, I want everybody to be able to experience this. It's I notice for myself when I'm with horses, it's almost like my whole being is remembering what it's like to be in true connection with another, and with how we talked about earlier, like te taiao, everything, not just nature, but te taha, wairua, you know, the stars, the moon, the seasons, like you said, tawhiri mātia, it's like the moment you're with a horse, you just sync up to that. And everyone that I talk to is always like, it's Avatar.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It's just the easiest way to explain it to people.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're exactly right. Like and I think you can go as deep as you want to, eh? Because there's been times when I really, really get into that space, eh? And I've just sort of went on one thought and then I jumped to this other one. Good. But like one practice that we always do before we go into a healing session is a grounding meditation. And that allows you to become present.
Yeah.
And because we struggle, we always struggle being present, being in that moment, bringing all your senses into one space, and then like igniting them so that they feel and see and hear and experience everything around you. Which reminds me, because horses, like their awareness is so, like their awareness band is so big.
Yes.
And we don't even, we're not even half aware of how far our awareness can, what's the word? How far it can stretch.
Yeah.
And I do an exercise with people to expand that awareness, So we ground ourselves and then we start engaging all our senses and see how far we can stretch that out to, so that then they can be present to connect in with the horse.
Yeah. That's really cool. And I think, I think we all experience that, but we almost laugh it off. Like, when you get that time where a thought about somebody drops into your head and then you get a phone call or a text message from them or something like that. Or the other night we were driving home and I just got this gut feeling that that my horses had got out of their paddock.
Oh, yeah.
And sure enough, I was like, because they live off-site to where I am currently, and I got there and the tape was everywhere. I have never seen it where all the standards from a whole paddock of tape were all like bunched up into one like smush with tape all like wrapped around it. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? But I think it's those little moments where we have those drop-ins, and I think that is our awareness.
Yeah.
Like, and the more we tap into that awareness, the more we're aware of it and can hear those little things.
Yeah, it reminds me of that's a whole te ao Māori, is it's not whether we're listening, it's whether we're quiet enough to listen, We allow ourselves to be quiet enough to listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's so much busyness going on.
There is so much busyness. Yeah, we've lost so much of that, Lost so much of being able to listen, being able to observe, being connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just walk around with, what are these called?
Blinkers on.
Yeah, we're just constantly walking around and we might not even realise something so beautiful just outside,
Yes.
because we're just so, blinded from everything around us.
Yeah. I saw this lady sharing the other day about noting down, and you might do it at the start of your day or you might do it at the end of your day, but bringing that awareness to look throughout your days, tohu, signs of positive things or just things in your life, and in the here and now, and to write them down or to take photos. And I thought that was really cool because it stops that like thinking out there or the thinking yesterday or the conversation that I had. While those things are important, it's making us look at what's happening here and now. I was saying the other day, I had this thought around, because it was recently the Tarawera eruption.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, and 135 years, I think. Oh my gosh, I should know that. But I was sort of thinking to myself, I wonder nowadays if yes, we have like all of these science things and, you know, that read when there's earthquakes or things that are happening, but in our everyday lives, would we notice the signs if there was going to be big events like that happening?
Yeah.
Or are we so tuned out and caught up and not creating space for silence that we would just miss it?
Yeah. And even on a more spiritual level, because when we are tuned in spiritually, like we get visions or dreams of things about to happen, but is our mind quiet enough to be able to receive that?
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Or there's fear around it, or it's laughed off, or I think that's one thing that I found in my journey in Te Ao Māori was that is normalised, and you're not a weirdo when you talk about those sort of things or experience them.
When I had allowed myself to I fed those areas of my life a little bit more than I am at the moment. You know, I was doing karakia all the time. I was doing pure all the time. I was I really cleansed my spirit and I cleansed my soul. I was just in this constant, I want to be in the purest form that I can possibly be so that I can receive downloads from my tipuna. I can receive, I can be aware of tohu that are out there. I can, I really was on this journey to be as pure as I could. No alcohol, even in that, clean eating, just everything that I put into my mind and into my body was clean. And the amount that the way that it opens you up to receiving things is because you're just so clear, your mind is so clear, your spirit is so clear that you see so much more. But once you start letting those distractions come in and you don't fuel your body with the right things, then it becomes tainted again, and you just everything closes down.
That's really interesting. It would have been a really great learning journey for you.
It was. I'd love to get back to that. It's my journey back.
Did it change the way you were in relationship with horses as well?
Yeah, like I feel like I had a deeper connection with them. And I feel like I was in tune with them a whole lot more than I am currently. Could
not be.
And because I was living next to them, and so this was when I was actually homeless. I was homeless and I was living in my caravan down at where my horses are, but I'm so grateful for that period of time because there were no distractions. When a caravan, there's no power, there's no TV, there's no phone, there was no Wi-Fi, no mobile service, excuse me. And so you had no choice but to just be with nature, with, and so I'm actually really grateful that I was able to experience, the homelessness was nothing because of the experience, the richness of that experience.
Yeah, what a journey. What a beautiful opportunity for growth.
Yeah. Might need to be homeless again. No.
I mean, bring those lessons forward into.
I really loved that time of my life. It was during COVID. It was actually during COVID. And so again, no other distractions from even life, because everything was closed down.
it's interesting talking to people around their experience with COVID and what they took from that, and whether it was a really beautiful time for them and time to reconnect, or whether it was a really hard time for them as well. Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you have any tips or advice that you would give to horse people that are wanting to go down this journey?
I think the biggest tip would be get curious. Yeah, get curious. Ask why. Make that be your number one question. Why?
Yeah.
But why?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be my biggest tip. And because then that creates a space for you to continue to learn, continue to grow. Because like they say, once you think you know it all, you know nothing at all.
Yeah, that's right. And I remember right back at the beginning when I connected with Buck Brannaman, and I remember him saying about, when you think you know it all, like, you may as well give up at that point.
Yeah.
There's always more to know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I actually feel like I'm still a baby in this
Me
field.
too.
I'm like, I just feel like I have so much. I really wish I could go back another 20 years and start where I am now. Just so that I just really want to learn. I so want to learn more.
Yes. Well, I'm sure you will. You still have a whole lifetime ahead of you. Are there any conversations you wish that were being had more in the horse world?
I think it's just being able to have conversations. I don't think we talk enough.
True.
I don't think that we, I actually don't think, I might be wrong because I'm quite isolated where I am, but I don't feel like there are enough conversations had between horse people, just even around horsemanship, because there's a lot of ego. There's a lot of ego, and there's a lot of I know more than this person, or so that openness to another person's opinions or another person's ideas. We're not very open. And so I think starting with being open to having conversations about anything to do with horses would be great.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great conversation. And I think it sort of makes me think about a kōrero that we had earlier around being at different stages of our journeys, and for some of us, and which is a little bit to what you said before, like, we all have different starting points as well, and I suppose not just writing somebody or something off because they're at a different stage of their journey, but I think for us all to progress forward does take this, is having the conversations and being willing to hear things differently and having the curiosity to look at, like, oh, why do we do that actually?
Yeah. No, that's it. And what, just, it's like you wouldn't scold a child for crawling because they're not running. Like, that's just where they're at.
Yeah, totally. Or if they fall over.
Or you wouldn't scold a child because they got a word wrong in their spelling test, because that's just where they're at. And you wouldn't compare them with, say, a university student because that's where the university student is at. And I think we're so quick to judge another person in their journey in horsemanship that we don't allow them to grow. We don't create a space for them to grow, because everyone has the capacity for growth, but are they given the space to grow?
Yes, yeah. Or are they shamed for being where they're
Yeah.
at in their journey, and automatically like
Yeah, of course someone's going to close off.
yeah, that's right. So it's how we can approach it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's neat. Is there anything else that you want to share, or do you have a cool story from, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm thinking about your river rides and bush and hunting, and I'm just romanticizing over that right now.
Stories. Oh, there's so many. I think, oh shoot, what's the story?
There's just so many cool stories.
Yeah. Well, I think that the best one so far, well, because it depends on the ending of the story. If it's a traumatic story, or if it's if it's a bucking off a horse story, or if it's a yeah.
Shall we end on a positive note?
Yeah. No, but I took some kids up on a camp one time, and we'd just come across the second crossing, and we just seen this like black shadow running across the riverbed, like running along the river, or like the riverbed, and we were like, "Hey, is that a pig?" And it was, so it was a pig, and so we got the gun out and lined it up for a shot. The kids were like trying their hardest to be quiet and keep the horses there. So some had gotten off their horses to hold the others just in case. And we shot the pig, and it went darting off. We quickly jumped on our horses, rode closer, and we couldn't find it.
Oh.
It was gone. We were like, oh, how the heck I'm sure we shot it. Where the heck did it go? Anyway, my dog must have picked up its scent, and the dog like just stopped at the river, and I was like, oh nah, it's not in the rivers. And it was in the deepest part of the crossing. So the pig must have tried to get across the river to go and hide in the rushes and that, and it was at the bottom of the river, and this is in the middle of winter. Yeah. And so we were like, okay kids, who's going to be the bravest to jump in?
Yes.
And one of the girls, she was like, I'll do it.
Oh, go to girls.
And so she dives straight in. Next minute, pulls up with this pig. Yeah. And so, that was our, the kids were buzzing. So we took the pig up to the campsite, put it on the horse, took it up to the campsite, and got all the kids to singe it and prep it and everything.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, and then some of them had never even killed a pig before, had never singed a pig, never lifted. Of course, all the boys want to show off and lift the pit. We were like, okay, go put this on your shoulder. Boys want to show off and put it on. I had to take the shirt off.
You've got to do all the things. Yeah. But that's cool in itself for like lifting their confidence, even if it's just those little things of like show off moments.
But it was that was their story for ages, how they caught their pig and had to dive in and get it.
That is cool. Yeah, that's an epic story.
And then I had to singe it. We did it over the fire, and we had to get. Oh no, I got burnt.
That's awesome. Just creating beautiful opportunities like that for people to be able to experience.
Yeah, and kids love those sort of. Because I remember as a kid too, when you have those sorts of experiences and like you just feel so cool.
Yeah,
you feel like you're the coolest kid.
Oh,
and then
totally.
Especially when you get to go and tell your mates all about it. I'm the coolest.
Just up the levels even more.
Yeah.
And then those are skills that they can take, and like you talked about earlier, the confidence that they can take back out into the rest of their lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Neat. Well, I'm going to go and pack my bags and get my horse ready. And
let's go.
But thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming here today and having this kōrero, and so neat to delve deeper into things. And we don't seem to ever run out of things to talk about with horses.
We don't, It's cool. I love it. I love it.
Really neat. Where can people find out more about you and the amazing kaupapa that you have?
So I finally have a website. Yay. Standfaststables.com. I'm also on every social media platform. So Standfast Stables, Facebook, Instagram.
That TikTok lady.
TikTok. Been a little bit slow on TikTok, but I will get back. But yeah.
Awesome. Ka pai. Well, let's close out with karakia, eh? Ka pai. Okay, nice deep breath. Ha ki roto. Ha ki waho. Ma te hau mahana o te kahi o te rangi, me ngā wairua o ngā tupuna, tātou e tiaki, tātou e manaaki, ngā wā katoa. Ti hei mauri ora.